Good morning.
Good morning.
Let us pray. Dear Father in heaven, we ask you to bless this gathering and this community. We are grateful for all the blessings that you have bestowed on us, and we pray that we show that gratitude by our respect, compassion, and patience with our neighbors, caregivers, and support staff. We ask that you give us a greater appreciation of this great country, community, and neighborhood, and the grace to be good stewards of your earth and all its creatures. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pam. That was very timely. Next up is Jim. He's going to lead the pledge.
Stand again. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jim. As always, we appreciate you. Next up is human resource recognition, my favorite part.
Mine too. Good morning. Happy May. Springtime. So this month, I believe we have 2 and 2. We have 2 employees of the month and we have 2 rookies of the month. I think moving forward, that's how we're going to recognize, to make sure that we cover all bases, the clinical side and the independent side, because a lot of times it goes unnoticed. So, because she has new hire orientation, I want to recognize her first, not because she's mine, because she has, I think, 8 people waiting for her. My very own Brianna Flournoy, Latanya Freeman, Benito Garcia Salem. Is he here? He's in housekeeping? No? Okay. No? Okay. You guys can come up. Come on up. Come on up. Stay here. So I would like to take this time to extend a warm congratulations for the May 2023 Employee of the Month to my very own Brianna Flournoy. Brianna started with Cypress in January of this year as a human resource assistant with a background in client services and as a legal assistant. Brianna is motivated to continue her journey to expand her knowledge in HR. Her customer service background is a strong attribute and is demonstrated every day in her interactions with employees she assists on a daily basis. Brianna takes new hire orientation by storm weekly and does a wonderful job in providing red carpet experience to our new hires. Thank you, Brianna, for all you do, and I'm looking forward to your continued growth and success.
Thank you.
Don't be shy. Want to say anything?
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. I love the employees here. Everyone's great. It's also always nice to hear everyone's backstory and where they kind of come from. And yeah, just thank you.
Here you go, my dear.
Thank you
You're welcome.
so much.
You're welcome. Who's next on my list?
Congratulations.
The second employee for the May Employee of the Month I would like to recognize is Latanya Freeman. Latanya is a medication technician for our assisted living and memory care residents. Latanya joined Cypress back in February of this year, and her dedication and exceptional quality of care is demonstrated daily. She goes above and beyond all expectations and is an example to her peers. Latanya, we are grateful for your dedication and your willingness to provide the best for our residents. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Let me stand over here.
You can stand in front. Right on time, because you was up next. Next, I would like to recognize one of 2 rookies of the month for May, Benito Garcia Salem. Am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Benito is our public area attendant in our housekeeping department. Benito joined Cypress. We have a lot of February babies. In February of this year as well, Benito is dependable and has assisted in various projects such as carpet cleaning, floor treatments, window washing. A lot of heavy work. We are thankful for having him on board. Benito, thank you for your hard work in such a short period of time, and we look forward to your continued growth here at the community. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You want to say anything? You like, no?
I know it was Ben, but I just want to let you know that if you're gonna do whatever you do for a living, do it and do it well and have fun. Do it.
Yeah. Benito.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Lastly, but certainly not least, Jennifer Peterson. Jennifer started Cypress April of this year as our memory care activities coordinator. She's responsible for planning and the coordination of programming for our memory care neighborhood and is passionate about serving seniors. We see you, Jennifer, and appreciate your dedication. It does not go unnoticed. We look forward to your continued impact on the community. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate the vote, and it is a labor of love, and I love this community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. And thank you to our recognized staff. We love you too. June is approaching, and I usually talk a little bit about this at the end, but June is approaching, and our June meeting will be June 13th. There will be no July meeting, just to remind you. The council is taking a month off, and I don't think management's upset about that. By the time we meet next, we will have a nominating committee, and we are pulling the chair and the members together so they can begin their work to get some new council members next year. The committee will present to us candidates for the Resident Advisory Council for you, our residents, to vote on November. This year, this will be the end of my term. It will be the end of Pam's term, Tony's term, and Wendy's term. So some of them may run again. I will not. I have sort of run into my term limits. I've been, by the time November comes, I'll have served 3 years and 3 months. And typically you can't serve more than 2 terms. And when you have a term, it's 2 years, so that would take me over. And frankly, I need a vacation. The council's also working on updates to our policy and procedures, and I will let you know when this document is finalized. It'll be in the library for those of you that need a closer look and want to peruse it on your own at home. You know, we can always send you a copy. We're also making a few tweaks to the council bylaws, and I will go over those changes with you and ask for your vote in November. So that's what I have today. Next up is the Treasurer's Report, Louise Fontecchio. Oh, and let me just say one more thing. Sure. And she'll just continue with her dining updates while she's up here. Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay, if you'll look at the back of your agenda, the treasurer's report is on it, and you will see that at the end of March, at our last meeting, we were showing a $696.81 balance. For the month of April, we had a total of $75 collected from Coffee Chat. Did not have any money in our honesty box in the library, which I don't know if that means people weren't making copies or if people weren't making enough copies that they needed to pay for it. But anyway, it is there for your use. But if you do, you make a lot of copies. And if you just make one copy, that's why it's there for your use. But if you make a lot, please drop a little, the money in the box that it asks for. But anyway, we had a $75 deposit for April with a total now of $771.81. And I say now, this was the end of April report. We also did have a little bit more collected. There were more people here last Friday for Coffee Chat, so we collected $33, but that's not on the April report, but that is the current balance. So that's the treasurer's report, and again, we use that money for things like the scholarship fund, employee appreciation. It's not for us to go to lunch on, so hope you will continue to be generous for your sticky buns on Fridays. Dining updates, I don't have much. Mostly what I needed to say about new committee members, that sort of thing I said last month. However, I do want to let you know what we're working on. Hector will be talking in a few minutes about menu changes, and that's something we've worked with him on. We're continuing to work with him on providing more served meals, one way or the other, so that not that we're recommending doing away with the buffet. I know a lot of people like it, but there are a lot of residents who are seeking more served opportunities, and so we're working diligently with Hector on that, and I think a lot of it depends on his getting his kitchen fixed, which hopefully will come soon. And then the other thing is, and I'll give you just a little bit of a appetizer, you may notice that menu chat is not happening right now. And that was discontinued temporarily because it just really lacked of participation. There were only 3 or 4 people that came. It was upstairs on the 7th floor. Nobody really even knew it was there if they didn't look at the calendar. So it's not happening right now, although very soon Hector's going to be ready to make an announcement about some fun things he's doing to change it and make it more meaningful and more fun, and hopefully more people will start coming. So that's kind of where dining is, and I will pass it off now to Carol.
Thank you. Good morning. Again, this is sort of a rave report. The Activities Committee has incredible support from Lisa and Becky and Julia. We couldn't do it without them, and I hope they can't do without us. On the committee, which I'm not sure we've identified it, is Chris Westmoreland, Miss Penny Thompson, Jetty Johnson, and Ned Suginis. Did I get it right? I'm working on that one. Anyhow, thank you, Lisa, for all you do. Thank you for your cooperation with the committee. We have a whole lot of things on the docket coming up. I can read, I'm not going to read them. Lisa has a naturalist coming in. We've talked about a lecture about the Timucuan Indians, which are very important to us here. There's a new restaurant opening over at Sawgrass. That's a consideration. Beach walks with breakfast involved. The car museum after the car exhibit here. And we're very open to suggestions. The thing that you need to know is that you think we only hear bad things or when things don't go well. We don't. We hear good things. We hear wonderful things about the wine taste that Linda did. Last night there was a Scotch taste. I don't know, was that wonderful? The kayak trip apparently was well received. Ash's Tea Room. I went to Copeland's. I thought that was fun. And in general, we're chugging along. Bring us your suggestions. Bring us your complaints. Bring us your thumbs ups. one more thing. I wanted to add that Lisa's been able to get the agenda, the weekly, the monthly things into our boxes early, and that is a positive. So you have a chance to look at the activities before the sign-up sheet ever comes. I understand that's working. Is it working, Lisa?
I think so, but we are distributing them with the sign-up sheet.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Just working hard to suggest activities that appeal to all of you. Next up is Jim Jandro, about veterans. One thing about Jim, I'll talk about him while he's walking up here, is, he's been involved in the veterans for God knows how long. And, this is one committee I don't really know a lot about. Jim just takes care of it, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Jim.
In order to make sure, Janet, that I don't speak too long, I brought my phone so I can time myself, okay? So
I don't have to buy that hook?
no, I didn't say that. But now I'm going to my sheet. Well, I've got 5 things on the Veterans Committee that's going on this month, the month of May. First one is tomorrow, Coffee with Comrades. This is a social group where veterans just come together and talk about veteran things. Informal, sometimes we have coffee and donuts, but it's for that purpose, just for veterans to sit down, discuss things, see what other veterans can do to help them in their issues. The next thing is on Wednesday, the 17th of May. That's the 36th anniversary I don't want you to run out of ink.
Thank you, Jim.
The second is the 36th anniversary of the USS Stark. USS Stark had been missiled. Missile was sent from the Iranians, and make sure I get the right number. 22 were killed during that event. 22 soldiers died defending their country. The USS Stark was a frigate out of Mayport. And on the 17th of May, 10 o'clock, there will be a ceremony honoring those sailors who died. Armed Forces Day, 20 May, 11 o'clock, Veterans Lobby will be our semi-annual update of the Cypress Village Veterans Recognition Wall. Remember, the people on this wall are veterans, widows of Cypress Village. Yes, you heard me correct. I said Cypress Village, not residents. Anybody and everybody in Cypress Village who is a veteran is on that wall, employees and residents. So come on down, we'll update you on that. Memorial Day. On Memorial Day, the flag at sunrise is lowered to half staff. At noon, it is raised to full staff. And we're going to have our honored Cypress Village residents who will be the color guard during that ceremony by the flagpole. And there is a guest speaker to be named. I won't tell you who it is yet. Come on down, you'll find out. The last one is is a either date. And the reason why it's an either date is because I don't have a date. And that it's either going to be on Armed Forces Day or Memorial Day, and it's going to be the dedication of the Assisted Living Veterans Recognition Wall. It's almost done. We're putting the finishing touches on it, and that's why I can't tell you which day it's going to be, but it will be on one of those 2 days. It will be very similar to what you see by the Veterans Lobby. Okay? So come on down for that, and that's 5 minutes, and I'm done, ma'am. I give you the microphone.
Good job.
Janet, can I give a
Yes,
quick update?
sure.
I'm Paul Cairns, and pleased to say I'm involved with the Scholarship Committee.
This won't be recorded unless you have the mic,
Okay.
so let me. Thanks, Paul. If you don't mind standing in front of us.
No. And we had some good news that just broke this morning that I wanted to share with you. Thanks to the efforts of so many of you in this room, we managed to get to the $80,000. Just as a benchmark, it is a 25% increase over last year. So thank you all so very much. Thank Laurel and Katie for their support on the creative and administrative side of it, because the committee was good, but they added some really sharp expertise. And Kate Pierce would normally have been presenting this, but she's incapacitated right now. She had a foot procedure on Friday. So thanks again for all of your efforts. It's much appreciated by the committee and by the employees especially. Thank you.
Kate is a fairly new resident, and I think she helped with the the Employee Appreciation Fund. That's her background, is fundraising. She worked for Stetson College, and she's wonderful. Not that I'm giving all the credit to her. Paul has worked so hard on scholarship every year, and it's really appreciated by our staff, so thank you. Next up is management, and I believe Angie's going first.
Yeah. Thank you. Good morning again. So I was supposed to cover this last month, and my morning was cut short. I had to go back upstairs, so I wanted to make sure that we cover this from an HR standpoint. The LCS no tipping policy. What I want to do is read the policy for everyone, so everyone is aligned, and then I'll give my point of view in closing in regards to what I think is best practice and what would benefit for them from an HR and employee perspective, just so that they're not compromised. So the policy reads as the following. Employees are prohibited from accepting gifts, tips, or gratuities from residents, their families, or individuals and firms with which we do business. We believe that acceptance of such gifts places the employee in compromising positions, which are not in the best interests of the community, employees, and residents. Furthermore, families of residents who discover gifts to employees may elect to challenge the gift alleging undue influence. As a result, we must insist that no gifts be given to the employees from residents, their families, or firms with which we do business. The acceptance of such gifts, tips, or gratuities may result in what we call a behavioral change, which is a fancy word for write-up, a disciplinary action, up to and including termination. Gifts from estates of former residents are equally unacceptable. In the event an employee receives a gift from a resident through a will, the employee is required to either 1, return the gift of the resident's estate, or 2, forward the gift to the general employee fund. The employee may not keep the gift. The acceptance of such gifts will be considered a violation of the same policy. Food gifts may be accepted if they are shared with other employees in the department or in the employee break room. Okay, they're not allowed to keep, if the resident is giving food gift, they can't take it home. They have to share it with their colleagues. My perspective, in closing, in turn, we really encourage residents to contribute to the annual Christmas fund and/or the Resident Scholarship Program and/or LCS recognition program. And that's with the court cards or by simply sending an email to their leader. Again, please submit either by obtaining the court cards. Typically you can find them in concierge, HR, security, I believe, has a box in the healthcare building. Or simply, like I mentioned, send an email to the leader. We award points that remit to dollars that will benefit the employee without violation of the company policy. So I do want to emphasize that, especially on the crux of what Paul just mentioned. We really, really push education here. I'm an advocate of education. I mention this in every orientation. It benefits the employees so much more, and it's more impact if we touch those things, right, than to, not simply, but to individually give out gifts to the employee. So is there any questions in regard to this? I know this was a topic last month that I know that, Janet, you mentioned it last month, but I wanted to, from an HR perspective, make sure that everyone understands. It does put the employee in a compromising position because they want to be respectful, right? And it seems a little disrespectful to decline. So it does make them feel uncomfortable at the very least. Okay? Okay. Moving on to some HR recruitment and retention updates. This is a quick and dirty high-level update. In 2023, we scheduled an average of 200 interviews per month, of which 40% showed up. Yep. We have an average of approximately 40 new hires per month. Some of these hires are to replace existing vacancies and some for growth, such as healthcare and IHS. Okay. The strategies we employed over the past 2 years have certainly paid off, and I feel confident that our recruiting abilities are successful except in challenging positions, and this is throughout the marketplace, is our nurses. It's a very challenging marketplace. Our attention is now shifting to prioritize improving retention, right? We can bring them in, we need to keep them. We need to keep the good ones, right? Some areas we have identified are focusing on the most to address turnover, which is hiring the right person to begin with, making sure we're asking the right questions from the beginning, right? You can almost, it's an old saying, first impressions, but it's absolutely true, right? If you feel that that person is not the right fit, they're not the right fit. Let HR advocate to decline the offer, right? We're now in a position where we can be selective. So that's what we intend on doing. We have successfully integrated and onboarding new hires and leadership development in some key areas. In summary, times have definitely changed. Once upon a time when I was young, because I'm turning 55 on Monday, so I don't find myself, thank you. So I'm now in the habit of saying this. We wouldn't fathom not showing up for an interview, right? We were raised better than that. This is a very new generation. I say generation about 1 million times a day because I feel a certain way about a certain generation. It has put HR in a position where we definitely have to think forward. We have to pre-plan, then pre-plan again, because we always have to take 3-4 steps ahead of what the everyday turn looks like, right? When it comes to the way a certain generation thinks and proceeds to do business. We didn't grow up that way, right? Even if we didn't want the job, I think we were pushed out the door to find a job, right? Whether we liked the job or not, right? And we graciously took the job. That is no longer the situation. The youth are very independent thinkers. They don't ask permission. They come if they feel like it. They don't when they don't, right? Those that do come, then we have to be selective. So it definitely it trims the fat. It's very, very different. The market is very different. What I will say is, to close, is that we are in a very good place. We are almost in the last 3 years, I believe, before COVID, that we are almost, I can say confidently that we are almost there and we're almost fully staffed. So I want to take this time to thank, and I wish they were in the room, Ty Morgan, Sarah Nina, because without them, they have, HR is just a department, but it absolutely takes my business partners, because that's what I believe they are to me, to make sure that this is a priority across the community, not only for the residents, not only for the employees, but for the residents, right? You voiced I'm looking through, the room, and I see there's a lot of people that had a lot of concerns in the last 3 years. We've had conversations. So I want to say thank you to both of them for helping me drive and keeping this as a priority. I also want to thank all the leadership that has put in the work to make sure that they are selecting the right people to take care of you. And last is the HR team, because they really are the ones that have to do the heavy lifting and making sure that we get these people onboarded as quickly as possible, and that's a challenge in itself. So thank you for everyone for being patient, and I'm not even going to say COVID anymore. We're going to look forward and make sure that we have the right people and maintaining the right people for you guys. Okay, thank you so much.
Next up is Hector. Tell us something fascinating.
You mean Angie wasn't fascinating? She's always fascinating to me.
Yes, it was fascinating. You have
It
to
was.
beat that.
I don't think I could beat Angie. But so I'm going to start with, I'm going to kind of caveat off of what Angie was talking about staffing and about, associates and where we're at in dining. I mean, as far as dining goes, yes, we are getting very close, 4 or 5 positions away, culinary a couple positions away from being totally staffed. In that, I've been working on a staffing plan, backing up my visit with JP, who's my national director, was very, very beneficial to me. He was able to share some light with me. We were really able to talk things through, both ex-chefs, so we really do bond well as far as our dialogue and the way we think, our way of thinking. So he asked me to put together my ideal staffing plan, and that's a place that we started. I completed the plan last week. I'm in the approval stages of it. Ideally, what I'd like to do is really take a fresh look at the department, be able to start, not from scratch, but be able to work through some of the challenges that we have, service levels, things like that. And really the plan came together very well because of the timing of Chef John, having Chef John here, having a partner in the kitchen that I really, really respect and relate with well. So we did both sides of the fence, back of the house, front of the house. And like I said, now I'm in the approval process. I've decided that in the market today, kind of bouncing off what Angie said, it's different. It's a lot different than it was, 4 years ago. And we have to treat it differently. So my plan includes treating it differently. We respect and love all the young people that work for us, but I need a little bit more talent in here, and I need some, kind of next level. So having a break in between, the management team and the frontline associates is what I'm looking at, and really looking at having more supervisory on the floor so that I've got more people in more places that are going to have like-minded thinking as the managers do. So my plan includes all of that, as well as some things for chef in the back from a culinary standpoint, kind of the same thing, same thought process. So again, I'm in the approval stages of that. This week, hopefully I can get that done by the end of the week. It's on my list to get done by the end of the week, so depending on schedules with everybody else that I need to get scheduled. So hopefully after that, I'll just be able to move forward with my plan, get some postings out there, and really get us to that next step. Menus, we're planning on rolling out a new 4,600 menu on the 22nd, and a new Loon's Nest menu. I had it down for the 29th, but I believe that's Memorial Day. Is that correct? Yeah, so it'll be on the 30th. So any ideas, thoughts you have on menus for Loon's Nest? 4600 is kind of chef's deal, so I mean, I'll take some feedback, but really it's Loon's Nest menu that we're focusing on. So this will be good. Chef's got some really good thoughts. I sent him a lot of my thoughts yesterday as he's crafting the menu out, so those two things are pretty exciting. We're trying to stick to that monthly rotation on 4600 menu, as close to it as we can, depending on the days of the week. And then I think the only other one good thing is I have the community table scheduled for this week with the movers to move down to Loon's Nest, so that'll give us another 5-6 top table for larger parties. So I'm excited about getting that downstairs. It's been a long time with the service elevator down and things like that. It doesn't fit. It's been, seems like an easy process, but it's not. And I think that really from dining, that's the only thing I have. Memorial Day is 1 meal a day, so we got to remember that. We'll get something out on that. And that's really all we've got going right now. Any questions? Yes.
Yeah, I have a question. On a Sunday, I look up on my app, Cypress Village app on my iPad for the menu. It stops on the Saturday. And typically on Monday, you have from Monday, Sunday through Saturday. Is there any way to get that in one day?
Yeah, we can take a look at it. Okay.
Even the printed version, I believe, starts on a Sunday, ends on a Saturday, but I'm not sure when that printed version is available if it's here. It may not be in time either.
Saturday.
Saturday, version? Oh, so it's just the app.
Okay, yeah, it must be. Yeah, we've got menus done, generally speaking, on Thursday evening. So then after that, we post them, but for the following week.
Okay, then it's just, they're not on the app.
Yeah, and we'll look at it. We'll take a look at it.
Thanks.
Yes.
Menu chat?
Menu chat updates, as Louise alluded to, we are moving into a new format. I haven't finalized date yet, or days, but we're looking at like a Tuesday. We're going to move it downstairs, change the formatting of it, probably do it in Loon's Nest in the mid-afternoon, like 2:30-ish, when Loon's Nest is closed, hoping that the traffic is going to get us a little bit more activity down there. And Chef John's got some thoughts on what he wants to do, maybe some food samplings, things like that, that's going to attract, more attendance. It'll actually be an activity.
You may have to move to a bigger room.
Yes. Well, he's going to do haggis, so I mean, we won't have a big crowd. Anything else? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Hector. That was fascinating. Next up is Dawn Epstein from Innovative Home Services. We've seen her on Coffee Chat several times. Hello, Dawn.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Good morning, everybody. For those of you who I haven't met, I'm Dawn Epstein. Like she mentioned, I'm new director for Innovative Home Services, the home care agency here at Cypress Village. And I've made it a point to kind of walk around and meet a lot of you, so I haven't met everyone yet. But I have been getting a lot of feedback, concerns about IHS, in the past, and I want you to know that we are listening. We have already made a lot of improvements, a huge focus on improving the quality of our services, as well as we already have a new system, or a system that we're actually utilizing completely, that can now allow us to see where our staff is at what time, so that we can monitor it during the day. So that helps ensure the timeliness of our services. We have brought on new staff members in the office that helps us accomplish this in real time. And we are recruiting with Angie's assistance with her team, which has been amazing. We also are challenged by the recruitment issues with the new generation, and maybe 40% show up. But Angie and Jennifer, Natalie, and Brianna have been just wonderful. They've been doing job fairs. We've really opened the floodgates. And we've hired at least 6 new employees, staff members with IHS. We are training them to ensure that they're well trained before that they are out on their own in the community. And we're actively recruiting, and I believe we have more in the pipeline that's coming through. So things are changing, and we are in a better place. So we are focusing on recruitment and also retention. Because yes, turnover in IHS has been a problem. So I am really putting a big initiative forth on trying to retain those, especially like Angie mentioned, the really good caregivers that we don't want to lose. We're really focusing on our quality of care, timeliness of care, because I know that's been some concerns that's been mentioned to me. So we are listening to you. We have also implemented some new services. One is we're doing a new birthday service. So if you have a loved one or friend that's having a birthday, we can do a custom package for them. So come see us or give us a call. We also are a new laundry service. We can pick up, do laundry drop off. So you don't, if all you need is someone to assist with laundry, you don't have to necessarily pay someone to sit at your home for 2 to 3 hours. We can do that, $10 a load, and we can do that for you at IHS. So those are just some of the new things that we have implemented. We also, as I mentioned on Coffee Chat, started a new spring cleaning program where we can come in and we can do a little more than what Lester's team does. We can come in for a few hours at one time and really help you do a deep down spring cleaning. So if those interest you, if you have concerns, questions, ideas, we're open. Like I said, we're listening. We are here for Cypress Village. So please stop by or give me a call and let me know what you think might be a good service to add, or a concern, or a focus you think we should focus on. We're really here to put IHS back on the map and be your provider for any needs or any of the services that you might need. So thank you very much. I've really enjoyed being here at Cypress Village so far. 6 weeks now, and it's my first community meeting, so bear with me. I found out about this yesterday, so kind of winging it. But I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you and being here for a long time, and we are going to get IHS really up and running and very successful and a high quality service for you. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. Very inspiring. Susan McLean is next for an update.
Save the best for last, right?
Best for last.
Hi, good morning, everybody. How are y'all doing today? Great. So last Thursday, I did hold the hurricane prep talk. The reason I rolled it out this early is because we are like 96% full. And so I wanted to get ahead, and knowing that June 1st will be here before we know it. So if you are interested in finding out what you need in your emergency kit, what happens here on property during a weather emergency, stop by the Wellness Center or stop by my office, and I can give you the handouts that were available this past Thursday. So I don't have any updates on how many storms they're predicting for us, but we're going to knock on wood and send some prayers up that it's going to be a quiet hurricane season. I know that y'all seen in the lobby and in the Wellness Center the table for the Michael J. Fox Parkinson's Foundation. And what this is dedicated to is actually finding a cure for Parkinson's disease through an aggressively funded research agenda and ensuring the development of improved therapies for those living with Parkinson's today. So in case those of you who are not familiar with Parkinson's, it is a disease when brain cells that make dopamine, a chemical that coordinates movement, stop working or die. And Parkinson's can cause tremors, slowness, stiffness, walking, and balance problems. It's called a movement disorder. And we actually have quite a few here at Cypress that are living with this disease every day. And it is a lifelong disease. And so each person, it's unique to them how the Parkinson's disease will develop. So even your own doctor cannot predict how it's going to affect you. And so Parkinson's affects nearly 1 million people in the United States and 6 million people worldwide. And so one of the main symptoms that occurs before you even know you have Parkinson's is your sense of smell. And so that's what the Michael J. Fox Foundation is actually doing. So out there on the table, there's some information where you can actually log in and get one of the smell tests sent to you. You have to be 60 years of age and not have a diagnosis of Parkinson's to participate. And they're using all of this information to help in their research to find a cure. So I know many of you are over the age of 60, but not everybody has the symptom of Parkinson's. Hey, I'm getting there. I'll be 59 my next birthday since Angie shared her birthday. So the simple scratch and sniff test can help the scientists learn more about Parkinson's risk. So please take part and let's help find a cure for Parkinson's. All right, y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Susan. This was really an information-packed meeting. Great, yeah. Any questions about the things that we've discussed? I know Hector called for questions, but is there anything else that we can answer for you while we're all here? Okay, crickets. That's a good sign. June 13th, be here, community meeting. Thank you for coming.